And there's good news and bad news in Puerto Rico. The good, the main metro areas are showing signs of life again. The hospitals are open, the shopping centers, even some hotels, most of them running on generators. The bad news, in the remote mountain communities, many of the roads have been cleared, but they're still months away from getting electricity restored. And clean water is a luxury. We traveled to these areas where we saw how these people are getting by one day at a time, thanks to volunteers. This wood frame house may not look like much by our standards, but to a family of four, it's home. When Hurricane Maria hit, the family was cut off from civilization for weeks. Now they're sick and getting desperate, but help is on its way. An hour and a half away, this used to be the president's office at the Ponce Health Sciences Center. Now it's a pharmacy of sorts, and the president has a new role.
We're gathering medication, medical supplies, some food items, and mosquito repellent, bed nets, tarp, whatever we may possibly need, because we go on these missions, we don't really know what we're going to run into.
MDs, nurses, psychologists, students, and any able-bodied volunteer available pitches in. The caravan is headed to an orphanage in Adjuntos, up in the mountains. They're not even set up yet, and the patients are already waiting, including this little girl.
Most of the things that I'm seeing is just skin rashes, dermatitis, infected bites, and stuff like that.
And that's what she has?
Yeah.
There are a lot of illnesses being treated at this makeshift clinic: gastrointestinal problems, skin infections, respiratory problems. But right now, one of the most pressing problems are mental health problems. After all, how can you rebuild if you don't have hope?
It's very overwhelming, but we want to change that. We want to give them hope that tomorrow we will have a better day, and we are here to help them.
For those who can't come get help, help goes to them. Most of the roads have been cleared, but that doesn't mean it's easy traveling. This lady's 95 years old and has lived in this house most of her life. Leaving for a hurricane wasn't an option.
They're completely isolated, so they don't have power. They have no running water, so they're dependent on people bringing water and food items.
The team assesses her vitals, and she's fit as a fiddle. Further up in the mountains, this couple rode out the storm in their basement.
It felt like the entire structure above where they were sheltered was being just blown away.
As the winds whipped, they huddled in the basement for several days, not knowing what to expect when the storm subsided.
They were not afraid for their own safety, because they're very faithful. They knew that there was going to be a greater power that was going to look out for them, and they knew that even if there was damage to the structure, that they were going to be safe.
The road gets rougher, so we pile into Freddie's four-wheel drive Jeep. There's a family still waiting at the end for help. A family that scratched out a living here for 4 generations.
So this is her family. Her father was born here. Her entire family was raised in this land, this piece of land.
They're proud of their mountain home and strong in their faith.
That they wrote that this home is dedicated to the new promise of God.
And while Dad is reluctant to leave, he agrees to go see a doctor.
He's having some respiratory problems, so they're going to go up to the clinic.
Our mission here is done, and now it's time to head back. But the old Jeep has other ideas. And just when it looks like we're stuck, the man we came here to rescue comes to our rescue. A little Puerto Rican ingenuity, and we're back on the road. We were a long way from civilization. I think we'd still be there if he hadn't come to our rescue. Now, tomorrow night, we'll see how medical evacuees are making their way to the mainland for treatment that they can't get in Puerto Rico.